Good morning, afternoon to you guys. Good afternoon. So, hello. So, I'm coming on here to talk to you guys. I know I don't come on here as much as I was when I first was found out about the stroke, um, when it took place. But that's because as you keep progressing, you tend to just go throughout life. Um, you start to just kind of go throughout life and everything. So that's mm, that's pretty much where I have been lately. Uh, uh, yeah, that's pretty much where I've been lately. It's just kind of going throughout, my day to day. So I don't really be on here as much because I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things. Um, am I back 100%? Still is a no. However, I am progressing. Every day is a new day. So I'm slowly graduating to that next step. Um, so where am I? So physically, um, I'm still at like a 75, 75, 60 area physically. Um, Mentally, um, and I'm gonna explain this mental situation. Um, I'm kind of like it's still 50-50. Emotionally, sometimes I'm here. Sometimes my mental, my emotions kind of get the best of me. So, it's still a challenge, but emotionally, um, I'm I would say, ooh, based upon my doctor's information, um, they have said I was kind of like at a 45 emotionally, which is not bad. Let me say that it's not bad. However, it is a challenge. It's a journey. All of this is a journey. It's a challenge. It's a test. Like all of it. Um, Now I did say I was going to explain what those percentages look like versus just saying the numbers. So when I say my physical is at a 75, it's been a consistent 75. Um, as in I am walking a lot better. I'm not running full speed, no. But I can jog, my arm, it gets a little weak sometimes. It still gets like it feels stressed. I'm able to walk up a flight of stairs comfortably. However, I'm tired by the time I get up the stairs. Like, as in, I need to sit down somewhere when I get up the stairs. So that's where I am physically. Um, Cognitively, that means mentally. Um, so lately, and it's gotten, because before if you tell me something, immediately I can think of what to say next. That was the privileges I had when it came down to acting and improv and things of that nature. Like if you would you some like we got to figure something out on the fly. Cool, let's get it. Now immediately I start thinking of stuff. Well, that's not the case right now mentally. Mentally, uh, and as much as I don't want to apologize for this, I'm going to apologize because in advance for anyone who I do business with or anyone who I work with. Um, I don't catch on. I catch like the way it's been going is that, like, if you tell me something, like if you need me to do something right then and there, where I have to think on the fly, I'm not gonna get it right then and there. You might put it on my mind, and I start thinking about it, and by the next day, I have all these bright ideas. Literally, I have to sleep on it. That's not just with people I work with, but people I go to church with too. People that's a part of, like, I'm working on the resurrection play at church with the kids, and and there's a committee of people who I'm working along with, to making this come together. Shout out to Unity and Love, shout out to my wonderful church family. I love them with pieces because they have been so patient with me throughout this time frame. So patient. So I do want to say that. But my mental, it's been just like, I don't think on the fly like that. It's getting back there. What I would say is just keep on challenging me. That helps me with making that muscle stronger. Because again, when you have a stroke, when you encounter a stroke, your nerves, a lot of your your nerves are damaged. You start to have damaged nerves, and if you see me do this a lot, it's because of these two fingers right there. But hey, DJ Tay Boogie, how you doing? How you doing? Good afternoon. But yeah, so when it comes down to just the mental situation, wait, oh Jesus, what? That is not what I was just saying. See how fast that happened? That's what literally started happening. And that's a true experience just now. Cause I just forgot exactly what I was just saying. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that topic. I'm gonna come back to it. Hopefully I remember what I said. If you guys were listening, can you comment and tell me what I was just talking about? What I was just recently saying. But Jesus, I really can't think of it. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I can't. It's not coming to me. It's really not coming to me right now. Relax, Felicia, relax. I can't think of it. I was just, what was I? Okay, so let me go back. So I shout out to my church. Let me go back there. Shout out to my church family, because they have been very, very patient with me, within this experience. And it hasn't been a walk in the park, I will say that, but they have been very, very patient with me when it comes down to the things that I might not be catching on to as fast. They remind me every so often, like, hey, slow down, don't get frustrated. Because one thing about me is that when I can, that is still a trigger for me, is that when something that used to come so easy is now not as easy, I start getting frustrated with myself. And shout out to my work family, because they remind me all the time as well, you got to be patient with yourself. Stop rushing yourself. And that's something I'm learning. So, like I said, today marks 167 days after the stroke. And like I said, it's still some challenges. Now, emotionally, my emotions be all over the place. Because, again, that is also a nerve, too. All those senses, all those nerves and everything was all damaged. Um, and but our brain is so smart. So what I've been with for this year, because it's gonna take, it might take longer than a year, but I won't know exactly of what I have accomplished really until October of this year. Um, because that will make a year. So I can see the progress and see what nerves were damaged completely, what nerves were, um, oh, what nerves was restored. So I will be able to know that for a fact then. But right now, what I'm saying right now is that I'm not 100% back. And who knows, I might never be 100% back. I might always struggle with those things. But what I do is that I'm focusing on what this, I'm same thing I said back when it took place. This is the way I'm learning who I am now versus who I was. Because I'm not her anymore. I do feel as if there was a rebirth. I feel like my spiritual birthday is October 13th because at that moment in time, the way I wasn't her no more. The things I was able to do, I'm not able, right now, I'm not able to do a lot of those things. Um, what have I been doing? Um, I've been seeking help mentally, emotionally, as well as physical. Um, I was in therapy. I was taking physical therapy for a minute, all the way up into January. Then I started getting my regular physical therapy and occupational therapy from work. Luckily, I work at a job where I have to focus on walking and mobility and thinking, getting my thinking skills back together. Like I said, that's helping me right now. Me working, me putting in, me applying what I was taught when I was in the hospital. Right now that's what I'm doing currently to kind of get me back to that place. And like I said, it's not easy, but I do ask for people to be patient with me throughout this time frame. Um, Health update. I will say, my when it comes down to my diabetes, it's come down a lot where I'm out of the range of diabetic or pre-diabetic ranges. However, my doctor still has me on the insulin. She's winning me off of it. Um, so, I'm praying that I stick to she told me, like, stick to what you've been doing because it's been working. And what I did with that is that I changed everything. I changed how I was eating. I changed, I don't drink sodas. I had not drank a soda since before October. I mean, since October, before it happened. So, and I want to keep that going. I still exercise. I still work out. Um, just keeping my body going. Like I said, when I go to work, I, when the kids go outside, I do a walk around the trail. I walk one, run one, jog one, and I just keep it moving. Um, I'm actually very, very active with kids. I always believe that engaging with your children helps you too. Like, I'm not one of those educators that let the kids go outside and I sit down and watch them. No, that ain't me. I'm the one, I get out there and I'm active with them. So that helps me physically because you got to stay active for them. Um, even when it comes down to the kids at church, like they working on the they working on the Easter play, resurrection play. So my job is, that's how I'm working on my mental, is because in order to help them, I have to, you know what I'm saying? I got to think on the fly, you know what I'm saying? Just in case if I have to improv or I have to add something in, I have to be thinking, you know. But that's the reason why I ask for patience from my team members when it comes down to that. Even when it comes down to IAG, I do, you know, I realize like lately I haven't been doing nothing. You know, the last event we did was in February. And for people who do events, y'all already know, that's a long time to not have an event going on when you always doing events. So, but even with that, I'm taking my time. I'm not trying to rush it because I have to make sure I'm together. I can't just jump into the next project. My mind is not prepared enough for that right now. But eventually I will get back to that. I'm just trying to pace out, how I'm doing things. Even when it comes down to me being booked on things, I pace that out too. I'm being patient with myself. And that helps me for my mental. I have to be what? Patient with myself. So, like I said, that also plays a part emotionally. Because, like I said, I get frustrated with myself. I still do. Hey, Miss Jonah, I can't wait for the 5th. I cannot wait. I got my little gifts for my girls. So I'm excited. Shout out to Miss Shauna Arnold. She is the wonderful counselor at Cummings Elementary. She's also the executive producer of the girls conference. She puts on every year where that takes place in A-Leaf. So man, shout out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. But I'm just, like I said, emotionally, it's a challenge. Because I do get frustrated with myself. But what's been helping me, I've been talking to a counselor, and it's been helping. I do, as well as it's this book. I gotta show y'all this book, okay? It's this book I've been studying from, and if you ain't got the book, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I got this book, right? And when I first got this book, I read about it, but I did not really read about it. This time, I've looked at this book a different way. Y'all see this? Tiffany Terry, Miss Thomas. She is a coach. She's a life counselor. She's also she's a life counselor. And one thing I can say about this young lady, I met her years ago. I'm gonna show you the book again. And yes, these books are on sale. Look her up, Tiffany Terry Thomas. She's on Facebook. This workbook has really saved my life, man. Like for real. Between this and church, it's been helping me. That book holds me accountable. A lot of times we don't know what we're going through. I tell you, we do know what we're going through. We have these definitions, right? We put certain definitions with certain words. We put certain definitions with certain words. However, where the challenge come in at is that half the time we put our own definition onto certain words because we might not know what the definition of the word is. We put our own personal experiences to a word instead of focusing on what that word really truly means. Like the word accountability. Like, we ask each other every day, like, what does this word mean to you? We use based off of experiences when we do answer that question. However, when it comes down, but then when you really think about it, stop doing that and actually answer the question. Because if you don't really know what the definition of the word is, how are you really going to do anything? One thing my neurologist told me, that helped me to understand something. And it was funny because I read it in this book as well. He told me, he's like, do you know what caused the stroke? And at that time frame, I did not. I was like, well, I was told this, I was told that. He's like, no. Do you know what caused the stroke? And I said, honestly, no. He's like, well, how can you really make changes if you don't know what caused it? Now, this might be, might keep you guys informed on some stuff, okay? But when he said that, it made me wonder. I was like, what caused this? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we get to these points where it's like, we know, but we don't know. Something Miss Tiffany said in this book, Sis, Is It You? 9 times out of 10 it is that when something, usually when you're like, let's say you get in an argument, right? And let's say you say something that hurts someone's feelings in that argument. Or you make a mistake. Oh, there we go. You make a mistake. There we go. You make a mistake, right? And you say, I'm never going to do that again. Well, what did you do? What are you not going to do that again? What part are you not going to do? What caused this to be a mistake? Because you could say it was a mistake, but if you don't know what part was the mistake, you really not going to make no changes. A lot of times, we don't change with the mistakes we make. Our brains don't change. We change our mistakes by correcting those mistakes. That's the only way you can fix a mistake and say, I'm going to do better. Because if you say that was a mistake and you're going to do better, but you keep on doing that same mistake, it becomes a habit, right? Well, what do you do with that mistake? You break it down. You understand what in that mistake went wrong. If you get in an argument with someone and you hurt someone's feelings, and you say to yourself, I'm not going to do that no more. What are you not going to do no more? If it was a mistake, identify what the mistake was. What part of that was a mistake? Was it you yelling? Was it you getting upset with yourself? What is it that you're going to work on? And I had to get to that point when it came down to my health. When my neurologist asked me what caused the stroke. And I was like, well, this is what happened. That's not answering the question. What caused the stroke? Was the breadsticks I was eating that day? No. That might have helped the stroke. But what caused it? Because they was like, well, this has been happening. Right? So I had to get to that point where I had to identify it was my blood pressure. Because right now, my sugar levels is consistent. It's in a green. It's like to a point where it's like it's below, like it's in a normal range. is actually at a very good range. It's at a 5.1, you know. Um, so that shows me there. It was not my blood. It was not my blood sugar. It was not my sugar. It was not my A1C. It was not that caused the stroke. It was my blood pressure. And I'm still going with problems with my blood pressure. Uh, like when I wake, after I take all these different pills, they had me on labetalol still for my blood pressure. They had me on the nifedipine for my blood pressure. I'm taking vitamins to help control my blood pressure. They have me on Mounjaro that helps my blood pressure and my sugar levels. Like I have a lot of stuff that's helping me control my blood pressure. And it's only because my blood pressure went so uncontrolled for so long that that kind of took a toll. Um, Now, what I will say is that um, when it comes down to my blood pressure, yes, it gets controlled after I take my medicine, and I will say that when I first wake up, my blood pressure is not it's not super high like it used to be, but it's not where I feel like it should be before taking medicine. And that lets me know like there's something in my body that needs to be controlled a little bit more. And right now that might be my stress level. Because like I said, I do still suffer with um, um, balancing out my emotions and mentally, and I get frustrated with myself when I don't catch on to something like I used to. I'm not as patient with myself. I get irritated very fast if people keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again after I tell them to stop. Like, I'm still working on that, but I know that that's what I'm focusing on. But at the beginning of the day, that's something that my doctors still haven't figured out yet. They trying to figure out still what is it that's causing blood pressure? What's causing my blood pressure to be high? Also, my kidney function. It's been consistent from the last visit. It's been consistent. It's still not in the green, but it hasn't heightened. It's been kind of consistent at a 3A chronic kidney disease level. So I'm still trying to bring that down. I know that you know by by working out, that's been helping me. By drinking water, that's been helping me. By eating green vegetables and fruits helps as well. Um, Leafy things helps as well. So, like lunch, I eat a salad, and I'm happy with that. I eat an apple. I love green apples. I will say that. Like I love green apples. So I just like I said, I had to change how I was eating. I had to change how I was doing things. It's not. It's this journey right now is not easy, but it's not as hard as I thought it would be. I was so nervous um, with just with my progress. I was so nervous about it. I was so nervous to come home and have to do all the stuff on my own. But I will say the people at Encompass Health in Sugar Land, the people at Select Therapy in Sugar Land, the people at Kelsey Sibo, um, West Houston Medical Center, like these people have helped me so much to the point where when I finally came home, I was not scared anymore. I wasn't nervous about where I was going to be or how I was going to be able to do it. Like, I'm very proud of myself. All I ask for is just continue to be patient with me. If you are listening or if you will be listening to this, like, I just ask that you continuously be patient with me while I'm on this journey. Like, I still say it when people ask me, what is it that I can do for you? Is there anything I can do? Just be patient with me. Pray for me. Encourage me. If you see me struggling with something, encourage me. Ask me then, can I help you with something? If you, like, I need that. No, I do not need sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I don't want, no, I don't need you to cuddle me. I don't know if I'm saying that word right, but I don't need that. I just need patience, understanding, love, and hold me accountable. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, don't get mad at me if I can't do it. But if I say I'm going to do something, hold me accountable and remind me. I need reminders. I need reminders. That's the reason why I carry around a whole bunch of different notebooks. Like, because I need reminders. I have my planner with me. I have all these different things with me. I have reminders on my phone, my tablets, everything on the computer. Remind me. Remind me. Don't charge it to my mind. Please don't charge it to my heart. Don't charge none of that stuff. Just remind me. You know, if I tell you I'm going to do something because I forget a lot. You could tell me something right now, and in the next 5 minutes, I might forget. You saw how easy it was when I was up here talking, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was saying something to someone, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just like I just forgot. So I just ask for patience. While I'm on this journey, continue to be patient with me. Continue to show me some love, and I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love back. That's all I ask. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, and enjoy the remaining parts of my day. Since it's not raining, I'm gonna go find something to do outdoors. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys very soon.